want to be an assessor?
Hello and welcome. I am Mei Beth Shepherd, one of your hosts on the So You Want to Be an Assessor podcast. Well, we're glad you're here.
We are, and I am your other co-host, Kaitlyn Reeder. And today I was hoping to dive into the nebulous topic that is assessor consistency. So this is probably going to be mostly for us and for other assessors and how we try and keep things similar to styles, similar findings, similar vibes, and I say try being the operative word. How we make that happen.
Right. It's people are always complaining that assessors are not consistent. You know, this assessor found this problem, and the next person that comes in didn't find that problem or found something different or told them that that was not a true way to do something. And I really dislike it when I go into a lab and they say, well, the last assessor told me I had to do A, B, C. And I'm like, you know, A and B are required by the standard. C is required by someone's opinion, not the standard. And so I also get upset about not having consistency. But, all right, I live with another assessor.
How's that?
That's okay. It's all right. But we are not consistent.
Oh, no.
I mean, my husband and I cannot be consistent. So let's talk about ways that we try. A key word here being try, as Kaitlyn said. So we share findings. In other words, we say, okay, I think that there's this issue. And we make sure that, okay, we agree that that's an issue, that that's a problem. And we agree on where we're going to cite it, what we're going to cite it against, because we must have a reference, we must have a requirement for something, not just a we think you should.
Right. We don't want to write opinions. We want to be sure we have something written in a standard that we can hold you accountable against. Now, there are different places to write the same thing.
Right.
And so the first hurdle, I think, is writing it to the one that we all agree on would be the best place.
That's the place to write it. And, or, you know, that we're all reading that particular sentence in the standard the same way, because that's problematic. A sentence can be evidently read more than one way. Just ask the standards development committees.
And do not use the words should or shall anywhere, because those two have been debates of hot topics, I feel.
Okay, could be. Yeah, shall is a must, but should is not, even though they both start with SH.
Yeah, and some people read should as shall, and that is not the definition of the word.
Right.
Could be the definition of the word. Anyway, should is don't use it.
It's not a requirement. It's not a requirement. So you should not use it. Sorry, I did that.
Just put at the end. Just put optional, honestly.
Yeah. It's like
easier.
It's your choice, which means you get to choose. And I, as an assessor, cannot tell you you were doing it wrong. So that's one way that assessors try to get on the same page, is that we agree on how a particular section is read, what that requirement is. For instance, there's a requirement to back up all electronic data. Well, I've been reading that for years. Backing up all electronic data, if your instrument...
Back up your server.
Yeah, back up, your instrument computers and stuff. And then someone more technically, electronically savvy than I said, but a lot of the instruments that are not considered instruments, they're not GCMS, they're not ICP, they're not. So a lot of I hate to use the word simpler.
The less engineered
equipment.
Such as meters.
A pH probe, meters, A lot of them, turbidimeter,
Conductivity meter.
yes. So a lot of them actually store calibration curves and or readings, and so they do maintain electronic data. And it's like, oh, is it backed up?
Do you have a
By the
way
way,
to save that
it's
somehow?
electronic data and it should be backed up.
Mhm.
And so that's another way that we assessors help be more consistent,
Mhm.
is because we find or read or understand something a little bit differently, and then we share that with other assessors.
Mhm.
I don't know every assessor out there. I know quite a few, but and so it's not like we have a monthly meeting and say, okay, here are my new findings, and we all. But we read each other's reports.
We do. A lot of the states will have quarterly or semi-annually meetings where they will say, hey, these are some things that we're finding. We're just going to say off the top of our head, this is the ruling for this and this is the ruling for that. So one of the notable examples is Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
One of their semi-annual virtual get-togethers, since we're all over the place, had all of their assessors on the talk, and they decided then and there that they were tired of seeing monthly air plates for what we call the shake and bake test, for call alerts, the
Shake
enzyme
and
specific
bake. And
style.
yeah, those things that you just literally shake it, and all they were doing was presence absence. I'm not even sure they're doing the quantitray, the enumeration version. So
Mhm.
they're just doing presence absence test, and they were like, it is not a requirement to do air plate testing, monthly air plate testing, if that's the only testing that is being done in the laboratory.
Yep.
It's
And
like,
so on that meeting, we all came together as assessors and said, hey, we're no longer going to write that for this specific style. Now, if they have anything else, such as like membrane filter or they're doing multi-tube, then obviously you need it. That's a different part of the standard. But
right,
it
but
was really nice to collab with everyone else. And so
and that's only one state.
that's one state. That's one example. Texas had that going for it. I'm not. They
I don't
recently
remember.
changed directors, so I'm not sure if that's
Yeah,
being implemented
yeah,
still or
we
not.
don't know what. So sometimes it's not easy to
Not
communicate with
easy.
all the other assessors and get all on the same page. There's the TNI meetings and the TNI and NEMC. We talked about those before. Uh, they have an assessor forum that is specifically for this topic.
Yes.
It is so it's kind of morphed into just different ways to help anyone in a laboratory. Kind of like this podcast is not just for assessors, but for laboratory people to get better. And so
Apologies, the computer did its thing again.
yeah. So there's the assessor forum, and then there's a mentor session at every meeting, and in those meetings, that's where you get the opportunity to talk to other assessors, other states, other ABs. What are we seeing? How are we writing that? Is this a completely silly thing? Is it not a, what? How does that AB want to deal with it or not? Some of them just decide to not deal with stuff.
Which is fair. They have that right.
They have that opportunity.
They do.
So going to conferences, we talked about resources and things like that, is obviously another way to try and get on the same page, getting understanding it, going to conferences, going to presentations, either by assessors or by ABs, other people that are making the rules, because the TNI standards, the standard methods, all of those are consensus-based standard development, method development.
Which basically means that it does actually come from a group of your peers, a community of different individuals from different backgrounds. So some lab folks, some assessor folks, and some vendor style folks are all on those committees to help decide on the rules as the new standard that comes
And
out.
regulators, I mean, EPA has been on committees and, so different people that you can be on a committee.
Ooh,
All
yeah.
you have to do is volunteer.
Yeah.
Pretty much. There are lots of committees to be on. So if you have a passionate,
A passion for microbiology or asbestos. If you do have a passion for asbestos, we actually do need you. So,
Yeah.
Actually do that. But, chemistry or
There
data.
are committees for, quality.
Mhm.
So
The website has one.
yes. So there's different, there's lots of ways that you can contribute and you can, help make things better going forward. No change happens immediately.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. Life isn't like that. But the more people you talk to, communicate with, then the better off we are, and that helps us all get more consistent. Because I am not one to say that I am right 100% of the time. It's 98.5%, but I am not right 100% of the time. And I'm willing to be wrong. And I'm willing to have discussions about how I'm wrong. Or, okay, this is how I read this line in the standard. This is what I'm going to go with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm willing to talk to labs about that's not how they're reading it. How are they reading it? Okay, I can understand that. Or, nope, I really think that my reading is more in line with what the ABs want or the people that are, approving or not. And the really cool thing is I don't have final say. It's great. I don't. I write findings, and I can be wrong. The ABs, the accreditation bodies that I am writing findings for, can overrule me.
Mm-hmm.
They can say, like Minnesota says, I don't care if they have air plates monitoring. All they're doing is presence absence. Yeah, they don't need to have. And so we have had times when we've had to take that finding out of reports.
Absolutely.
And so, fine, I don't make the final decision. I don't have to live with that. So that's great.
That's true. I do love that you can pass the buck. So you can, we're not the end all be alls. We actually get to get the AB's, blessing on some of those things.
Mhm.
And if there's a question that arises, we can ask them as well, and they'll get to make the final ruling. Now, we've been talking as ABs as far as state ABs, but there's also third-party ABs. And I will say the third parties have meetings, I think, every year, because IAS has one. I know ANAB has one. I haven't worked for
A2LA and PJ. I'm pretty sure that they also do annual meetings.
And those ones are in person.
Right. They get all of their assessors for a particular
Assessor
standard.
week.
Yeah. But because they do assessments, or they have people that do assessments for lots of different regulations, standards. And so there's the environmental world that we work in, but they also have construction, and they have
food safety, medical.
There's lots of different opportunities. Forensics
is a big one.
Yeah, so there's lots of different things. So they tend to try and have a big meeting for everybody, and then they have sessions specifically for a standard, I guess is the way to do that. Where, again, assessors can get consistent on this is what we're writing, this is what we're doing. Seeing each other's reports is a great way to do that. I have been surprised because we've done lots of assessments out in California. And California also has state assessors.
They do.
And that go in and do stuff. And so California also reads all the reports for the third-party assessors because they have to approve them, or
they have a separate approval process before anything can get finalized. And it's also a part of their application program, which can be good, but it also makes those application packages huge. So
yes.
I I don't envy their reading.
Yeah, but so it was amazing to me. I went into a lab after a state assessor in the last year or two. So we third-party assessors have been doing California labs for 6 years now, I think.
Yeah, 6 years.
And so the state assessors were writing things that third-party assessors write. They never wrote those before.
I'm so proud.
I know. So even state assessors are learning from
I love that.
from other assessors. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it was my assessment report or whatever, but of course the state labs are irritated because now they're getting more findings, but it's also being more consistent. So we're working on consistency even at the state level. So the fact that third-party assessors are writing these things and states look at the findings and they say, nope, we're not going to go with that. They can, talk to the other states and say, this is not something that needs to be included, or it does. And they can all argue and agree at the state level because, as we said, Minnesota, that's the rule for Minnesota. That is not the rule
Not
for
the
every
rule
other
for
state.
everywhere else. I will say one of the biggest compliments I think I've gotten, and this is so assessor of me, but the biggest compliment I've gotten is when I've gone into a lab after it was Oregon actually, and my findings pretty much matched theirs with one or two exceptions for state flavor.
Yeah.
Since I was not Oregon, but it was just one of those we did it, guys. We were all looking at the same things at the same way at the same time.
That
just
consistency
a week
is
apart.
what the lab is looking for. They really, and I get it. I
get it.
You don't want to have somebody come in today and tell you this has to be done.
Yeah.
And then next week somebody else come in and say, you can't do that. You have to do this.
Yeah.
And some of them are totally opposite. And that's the worst case. And my situation is when I have gone to state assessors and said, I think you're writing this wrong. I think that you're misunderstanding this requirement. And you cannot tell people time.gov.
Oh, yes.
I had a lab that was so upset because I was going on and on about they can't use time.gov to verify their autoclave timing because the time.gov website says this is not a NIST traceable timer. On it.
On the website underneath the timer. So, you just have to keep reading.
Yeah. But a state assessor had told the laboratory that that's what they should use is time.gov. So I wanted to go to that assessor, and I did. I figured out who it was. I went to that assessor and I said, okay, let's get on the same page because I don't want more labs to be put into the situation.
Right.
So here's how I interpret that website. Here's why I think this. So are you okay with no longer suggesting that to laboratories? And they were like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't read it. Okay. So we all are learning from each other all the time. Good news, bad news. We're all learning from each other all the time. And so it's a consistent battle to try and be consistent. How many times can you use the word consistent in a sentence? Is really what I'm going for here. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we try. I mean, you and your husband work together fairly often. I work with both of y'all fairly often. We have two other assessors that
we also work with.
Folded in.
Yeah.
And, between the five of us, we can write maybe half the same, and the other half is slightly different.
Yeah, and we haven't touched on how to write a finding.
That'll be a separate podcast because that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. I mean, so we're not even talking about the wording of the finding. We're just talking about, is it a finding to say that you have to confirm digitubes once per lot before use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's all say, yes, that's it. That is a finding if you are not confirming anything you're using volumetrically. If you're not using the digitubes for volumetric measurements, which means you don't say, okay, I'm bringing it back up to 50 mils, then you're not using it volumetrically and it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But at least the 5 of us, I think there's a few more that agree with you have to do some level of checking.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, per lot.
Per lot.
That's a one and done thing. And then there's the writing of it. Well, we're just going to have to put a pause on that. And
Maybe we'll get into that next time.
maybe so. Maybe so. We're on a roll at the moment. So anyway.
So, if you enjoyed that, if you got anything out of that, please leave a comment down below. As always, we like and subscribe to this podcast. Please watch it, share it with your friends if you found any of this helpful and or interesting. If you didn't, why are you still here?
We're glad you're here, but feel free to
watch something else.
To not be here. That's okay.
This is
You will not hurt our feelings.
You won't. We promise.
Yeah, it's okay.
At this point, being an assessor, I've got like feelings of stale because no one wants you in their laboratory.
No, everybody cringes when you come in. They're scared of us.
And even like random people, like the people who do like my nails or whatever. I'll be like, I'm an auditor. And they're like, and I'm like, I'm not here for you.
I know. Sometimes being an assessor is hard.
Yeah. The people pleasing, you just can't. You just can't be people pleasing.
It's the title doesn't allow you to.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you for watching if you want to be an assessor. And stay tuned. Again, if you want to know when we post, hit the bell icon and you'll be notified immediately. I think that's the outro.
Okay.
Pieces. Anyway.
Bye. Thanks. Good to see you.